Sorry, I tried to be different, but it's impossible. Ben White, obviously, we think he's got some kind of hamstring issue. He's had a scan. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, he's out. He's evolving well. He's not a major injury, but it will keep him out for a few games, I think.
Oh, so better than maybe has been reported out there. It's not a major hamstring problem.
I don't think it's going to be, and Ben is a really fast healer as well. So let's hope that we're going to have him in the next few games.
Also, I'm seeing reports that there might be a bit of a target for Gabriel in terms of that big Aston Villa match on the 30th of this month. Would that be about what you were aiming for?
He's pushing hard, as he always does every time he's out, and he's evolving really well. He's doing pitch sessions, so he's not too far. We have to see in the last stages of that rehab how he progresses, but we are quite positive about it.
And earlier this week, I think it was Tuesday, we were allowed him to do our initial 15 minutes as to training.
What did you get from it?
We got the fact that a really happy bunch.
Okay.
A group of Premier League winners in the making.
Top.
And no Zubimendi, certainly while we were there. I just wanted to check that was just part of his normal process.
Yeah, that was load management for a few players that played out of minutes recently, so that's probably the reason why.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
6 years as you kick off against Everton tomorrow exactly.
Okay.
Has it gone quickly or slowly?
It's gone fast. A lot happened, but it's been an incredible journey, and enjoyed every minute of it. And
obviously your first game, you weren't in charge, but you were in the stand. The first game after you were appointed was at Everton. I think Carlo Ancelotti was in the stand as well. And back to Everton tomorrow, but a different stadium. How will that feel? Because obviously your connections with Goodison.
Well, strange, but very exciting as well. I think obviously one of the most iconic stadiums in the Premier League is not any longer part of our schedule. But I'm going to have the opportunity to witness. We are going to have the opportunity to witness an incredible stadium that they built. And Saturday night, you know what you expect.
All those games that you played at Goodison, but as a manager, it was a little bit of a bogey stadium for you, wasn't it? I think you only won one.
For all the away visitors, it's always like this. It's a really tough place to go. We all know that, and that's why we're going to have to be at our best to win on Saturday.
So the mission is to make the new place, Everton's new place, a bit more of a stadium where you can go in and get a win as Arsenal.
Yeah, and we had in the last few years very good records away from home, and that's the places that you have to go and win the game, and in order to achieve that, we're going to have to be really good.
Thank you.
Nick from the Premier League.
And good morning. You're about to start a busy schedule of 7 games in 22 days. The games are coming thick and fast. You've been involved in the Premier League environment for many years as a manager, as a player. Despite the hectic schedule, what is it the most you enjoy about being around the Premier League in the festive season?
That is different. That it hits you with big demands and a lot of games and a lot of things happening not only in your professional life but in your personal life as well, because there are special days for all of us. But I see it as an opportunity. I think we are blessed to have the opportunity to play when people are on holidays. They can enjoy a lot of families. I think the atmosphere that is created in the stadium is unique, and that's what we have to enjoy.
If you look at your outfield players, except Declan Rice, Martin Zubimendi played the highest amount of Premier League minutes, and this is his first season not experiencing a winter break. In terms of managing the workload, how do you try to do it and to get the best for him and for the team?
Well, in the small windows that we have, we make sure that we look after him, and he understands that every possibility and every chance that you have to look after yourself, you have to take it in this league, because the demands are going to be really, really high. But I think he's coping really, really well with the league, with all the challenges that the league brings to you, a new club, a new country, and I think he's been exceptional.
You spent 6 years at Everton. Goodison Park is an iconic stadium. When you move into a new ground, a new stadium, how important it is to maintain that connection between the club and the fans, you think? And you know Everton really well, their fans are really enthusiastic in a new, completely...
Well, I imagine that that's what they've been trying to achieve. It's never going to be the same, because everyone has his own history, energy and moments, and then you have to translate that. We had experience here at Arsenal as well in order to achieve that. So yeah, it takes time.
Ian, Talksport?
Hi Mikel, how are
Hi.
you?
Good, thank you.
6 years in charge. In terms of your achievements, would you say changing the culture of the football club is right up there?
It was one of them. It was the first foundation that we have to sit, and I think that was done pretty rapidly. Maintaining it something that is very, very difficult, and you need a lot of good people and very aligned people to achieve that. I think we have that in a really strong and solid way, but all the things socially, the transformation has been around the club in terms of the size, in terms of revenues, in terms of the squad that we build, the value of it, the sporting success that we had, even though we haven't won any major trophy yet. I think it's very, very consistent, so we're in the right place.
What's the situation?
Kieran's doing well, but not available for the game, so it'll be a big miss for us, but that's what happens at this time of the year. They're liable to lose players. Every club's got injuries or suspensions, so we're no different to anybody else.
Have you got a time scale?
Yeah, we have, but I'm not telling you.
Fair enough. Merlin Roll, is he?
Merlin Roll's back. He's been training, and hopefully he'll be back available for the game.
And Jack Grealish?
Jack's okay. Jack will be fit and available to play, yes.
How big a test then is Arsenal? Because obviously they set a very high standard this season in the Premier League.
They have, but they've been setting really high standards for the last few years under Mikel and probably longer. So they're a really good side. They're probably at the moment the best side in the country. Obviously, come the end of the season, it'll be proof for them or not if that's the case. But certainly in the early half of the season, they've been blowing everybody away. They've been doing great.
At the same time, how much progress do you feel you've made now in a relatively short space of time as well?
I think we've made big progress. I do. I think that our progress will have to come steady, and I think when you're so far away, you can't expect everything to go right very quickly. We've probably had 4 or 5 really poor years here as a club, really generally. So we're trying to make all that better, and look, things are better results, better performances, players are doing well, so we want to try and keep that positive feeling up.
How much of an indication is it the fact that we've spoken at times about challenging those European positions this season rather than looking behind yourselves?
Yeah, well, I think every win gives you that feeling that you're a chance of making Europe. Every defeat makes you think, hey, let's just behave ourselves a little bit and think a bit clearer. So I think that's just the way the Premier League is this season. But I think the players are doing a really good job. They've done a lot of good things. We've had to come from nearly being a relegation team last year to doing pretty well this year. We'd like it to be better, but we're still quite happy with what we're doing.
Thanks, Dave.
Right, gents, where do we even start with this Arsenal chat? By the way, tomorrow marks 6 years to the day that Arteta got the Arsenal job against the club where he spent 6 years in an Everton shirt.
Going to be a positive or a negative?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
how about this for a question? Okay, so...
Will we see some 6-y football?
Oh, very, very nice. Darren Lewis, the voice in the face of Team Talks. Okay, so look, up against Everton. Is this mini wobble over? Can we call it a mini wobble? They've dropped points in 3 of their last 6 games, Arsenal. The Wolves' performance was shaky, it was nervy, but they got the job done. So where are Arsenal right now?
Well, I'm not sure, which is an indictment in itself, because before the Sunderland game, they were impenetrable. They were undefeated in 9 games, clean sheets in all of those 9 games. Since the Sunderland game, where they drew 2-2, they have conceded in 6 of their 8 games. And when you consider where Wolves are at the bottom of the table and the fragile confidence of the Wolves side, and then you factor in the problems that Arsenal have had defensively in terms of personnel being available, and just the idea that people could see that they were mortal, they were conceding goals, you could get at them. I think now they've given a little bit of encouragement to the rest of the teams in the Premier League.
Are they still Glenn Murray's title favourites?
Were they ever?
Were they not? Will you tell me?
No,
Were they not?
Liverpool were actually.
Hold on, 5 weeks ago, were they not your favourites, Arsenal?
I think after the transfer window closed, yes, they were. I think their strength in depth has just edged them ahead of others.
But are you edging towards City now?
It's finely balanced. That's what it is. Are the frailties of Arsenal going to happen again? It doesn't help when that foundation is broken between the 2 centre-backs. I think you're right. I think there is more of a belief in teams that play Arsenal now. I think David Moyes will be one of those. Very pragmatic, work off the break.
Can I ask you, as a striker, former striker, when you look at the fact that there isn't that partnership like Saliba and Gabriel, it might be Saliba and Nkapia or another. As a striker, do you know that you can capitalise on maybe not a lack of understanding, but the unfamiliarity between them?
Maybe not the relationship between the two of them, but I would definitely pull on Nkapia. More so because he's the weaker of the two defenders, in my opinion, at this moment in time. And I think everything that Arsenal do good is built off that strong foundation. And what he's done is he's built a team of men, strong, physical men. And when that falls down, all of a sudden we're seeing Aston Villa. Aston Villa went right through the heart of Arsenal on that afternoon with Timber. I mean, Timber at right back is brilliant, but centre back poses a different story.
So that's my question. That's what I'm saying. I know you're talking in the general thing, but I'm looking at you as a Glenda player. If you see Timber at centre back as opposed to right back, are you thinking, I'm getting on his shoulder here, I'm going to give him a problem, I'm going to try and turn it?
Well, probably not his shoulder, not with my capabilities, but yeah, I would definitely pull on to him more. So yeah, but I think, I mean, obviously, when in the changing rooms, when you've seen the team sheet come out, you can see where the weakness is in that team.
Right.
And that's where you would try to attack and play on. And I would definitely be asking my centre-backs, my wingers, hang balls to the back post and let me try and challenge Timber in the air, because I feel as though that is a weakness.
Let me ask you this as well, because we need to move on to Everton. Before we do it, look, Glenn, as much as we take the mick out of you, I love you, and I did respect you and do respect you. What you did, absolutely what you did in the Premier League, because you were so suited to the Premier League, and you were, a master of your craft. So I'm moving this on to Gyökeres. Right? I don't know where you said.
I thought there was a clip coming there.
There's no but.
I did too.
It's Christmas around the corner.
You feeling all right, Will?
Gift wrap. Where are you with that strike? He's already put your striker's hat on you, so keep it on. Where are you with Victor Gyökeres? Is there a chance that actually he's just not suited to this league, or will it come with what you've seen? 4 goals in 14 Premier League appearances.
Listen, when I see clips like this, it's positive. He's got space to run into. He's powerful. He's strong. I think physically he's built for the Premier League. Week in, week out, he can compete at this level. I think he needs to be a little bit more patient because the creativity is there. He doesn't have to create for himself anymore. At Sporting, we're seeing him running beyond into space. You're not very often going to get that space at Arsenal where teams step onto you. The dominant force. You've got to occupy the centre-backs and almost trust in not moving too much and let everyone else around you move, that merry-go-round of talent, and you just be ready to put the cherry on top.
I don't just finally on Gyökeres, I don't believe any Arsenal fan, Darren, I don't know about you, who actually, I don't believe it when they say, oh no, happy with what he's doing, his work off the ball, £64 million. They thought he would be banging in 20 Premier League goals minimum this season.
I think that Gyökeres strikes me as a player who's suited to a team that is built for him, rather than a team that has lots of different points of attack. No, absolutely. And that's the reason why I think...
So the people that have recruited are the ones that we should be looking at here, rather than actually Gyökeres himself.
Well, there shouldn't be an inquest. I mean, he's still a good player. It's just that maybe he's in a side that's not...
They needed that
Everton,
piece. They needed that. We were talking about. They needed the Watkins. They needed the Isak. That's what we were saying last season, wasn't it? They need someone to take them to the title with the goals, and that's not happened.
But even when you mention those two, Isak and Watkins, they like spacing behind.
Yeah.
They're used to teams stepping onto them. All of a sudden, we've seen Isak go to Liverpool, where teams are sitting deep against him, no grass to run into. Changes his style and his profile.
The time police are in my ear. Move it on. Enough on Gyökeres. Right, we've got to talk about Everton. Darren Lewis, can Everton replicate, in their own way, what Nottingham Forest did last season and challenge unlikely for Europe?
Yeah, I don't see why not. This is a league that is almost... It's not a traditional league in so much as there are lots of teams that you would expect to be lower down the table, given their form and their confidence, which is quite fragile, that are quite high up. And so Everton, they've won 5 of their last 9 at Hill Dickinson. They will look at Arsenal and say they've conceded the first goal in 5 of their last 7 games. We can get at them. We can get the points that are going to lift us higher up the table. And with a manager like Moyes in his spiritual home to give that side organisation and confidence, I don't see why you would rule them out of maybe doing something that would, for them, represent a huge success.
That attacking trio is exciting, isn't it?
West Ham,
yeah.
When everybody laughed at the idea. I remember I covered West Ham, so I could tell you firsthand. When West Ham talked about bringing big European nights to the London Stadium, how they laughed. And then not only did David Moyes deliver that, but he won a trophy as well.
Was that moment for you that you were like, when you were a kid and you were like, no, this is it, this is going to be my job?
I reckon as early as I can remember, as as early as I can remember it being a job, that was when I thought I need to be a professional footballer, you know.
And in terms of your career, you know, in England, you've done the hard graft, you've gone out, obviously, to the Netherlands with PSV. How important was that move to PSV for you, both as a player and I guess as a person?
Yeah, no, definitely. It moulded me as a person, living by yourself, and those were really my first steps that I took in a professional game.
Well, look, you're at Arsenal now, and how has it been adapting to life at the club?
Yeah, no, it's been good. I've said in previous interviews that it's a really homely place. It's full of good people and great professionals, staff and players alike. So yeah, it's been an easy transition.
Made that switch across London.
Yeah.
Not a lot of players get to do that in their career. You went from Chelsea to Arsenal.
Yeah.
It was a tough start for you, you know, that whole transfer, that whole move, and it's been, I think, really refreshing for not just Arsenal fans, I think for fans of football to see just how much you've grasped that opportunity. Yeah. Do you feel now you have that connection with the Arsenal fans when you go into that stadium?
Yeah, no, definitely. To be fair, I felt that from day dot. Again, and I've said in previous interviews, I think we have a really good connection. I hear them, I feel them when I'm in the stadium, and I feel the love they give me, and I just want to try and use that to fuel me and to score goals and win games for my team.
As a footballer, I guess not just as an Arsenal player, a Chelsea player, or a PSV player, do you feel like sometimes there are those differences to fans that are maybe online to ones that are actually in the stadium and they're with you?
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. I mean, we live in a day and age where anyone can have an opinion online, whether it be positive, negative. I feel like that's just something that you've got to take as it comes. You can't really worry too much about that, but it's definitely really important to try and establish that connection with the people that are in the stadium and supporting the team every single week, you know. I think that's the least you can do, is try and have that type of relationship and do your best on the pitch for them.
Yeah, it looks like you've got a great relationship as well, obviously, with the coaching staff. What's it been like, you know, learning under Mikel Arteta?
Yeah, it's been top. He's constantly trying to get me to refine parts of my game that maybe I wouldn't have even thought of, and giving me little pointers and how I can be as effective as possible. Obviously, he's a world-class manager and it's a world-class coaching staff. So, yeah, it's been top so far, and yeah, long may it continue.
Yeah. And finally, World Cup hopes, of course, looking towards it. You're up to such a great mark with the England side and with the manager. How are you feeling ahead of a potential World Cup?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's something that's going to be in the future. I think right now my main focus is on Arsenal and helping us trying to achieve the goals that we have. But of course, yeah, it'd be a blessing to be a part of such a prestigious tournament. And yeah, I think if I carry on doing my thing and carry on playing well, then yeah, it should happen.
Fantastic. Noni, thanks so much, bro.
Appreciate it.
All the best at the weekend. Okay. Noni Madueke there. We'll get into Arsenal in a second, but just on Noni, Paul, I'll start with you. I mean, do you think he's kind of made his point? Because he did go through that really kind of tough start where, you know, some Arsenal fans online creating a petition to have the club not sign him. How do you think he's fared so far?
I think he's been absolutely outstanding. I'm a big Chelsea fan. If there was one player I would have sold at the start of the season from Chelsea, it would have been him. I never see him hardly have one good game at Chelsea. He never went past players, very hot and cold. But since he's been at Arsenal, he's been a revelation. He's been absolutely unbelievable. Play different ways. Arsenal play a lot quicker. They get the ball out to the wingers and they can go and have a go. And 1v1, I think he's one of the best about, if I'm being honest. I think he's one of the best wingers. If you give him the ball 1v1, he doesn't mess about. He's not fussed in. I know he does a nice trick there, but he's not fussed in doing tricks. He's very direct, runs at real pace. And when you're a defender, you do not want people running with you at pace. You don't have to do too much. Very rarely he stops the ball. He gets the ball and he goes bang that way. You know, like Salah did, do you know what I mean? Salah just got the ball and went bang. And people can't tackle you when you're doing that. And, yeah, I think he's been absolutely outstanding. I got it horribly wrong.
Yeah. I mean, for you, Julian, seeing a player like Noni, do you think this is good that Arsenal have got a player like that? Because usually we're so used to seeing Arsenal play that certain type of way where it's not as direct as sometimes the fans might want.
Yeah, I think Mikel has been a fan for a while. Not too much based on the stats that we saw at Chelsea, because Merce is right. There was maybe not enough from him in the end product. Yeah. But in terms of profile and what I think Mikel believed he could do with Madueke, I think he was a player that he liked from a very long time, even before the move. So it was an expensive signing in a way at £50 million to strengthen your squad, especially in those positions. But if you're a top club, that's what you do. Yeah. You sign players who could start or could be on the bench, could come off the bench to have an impact. but those players are be expensive naturally.
Yeah, Paul, Arsenal have suffered with injuries in years gone past, particularly to Bukayo Saka, and there was that moment whenever he went down, Arsenal fans held their breath. Do you think now that they've got a player like Noni, describe to us what that's like maybe for the potential left back, thinking, OK, Saka's gone off and now I've got Noni to face?
Oh, there's nothing worse. I mean, nothing worse. When you see someone's number come up, you think, I've got rid of him. Yeah. And then all of a sudden someone else comes on who's very similar and who's fresh. That's what they need. The next part of the season with the Champions League, and the league gets harder. The longer this season goes on, when you lose a game, the more effective it becomes. And to swap players that are like for like, it's very rare you can get that. Usually you bring a top quality player off and you're going to really weaken the team. Yeah. But you're not at the moment. The way he's playing, I think it's perfect over that side.
What about Arsenal as a whole? Do you think they've got that squad depth needed to go on and push and win the whole thing?
I think Arsenal's biggest game of the season is on Saturday night at Everton. I think it's a humongous game. I think Man City will beat West Ham. They'll be top of the league. And Arsenal will be walking onto that pitch thinking, we were 7 points clear not long ago. Yeah. We didn't even have a danger. And the last team you want to be chasing you down. I think this is a massive game. Yeah. Massive psychologically. But they have got a good squad. But I see a lot of nerves last weekend. It was scary.
Yeah. Julia, I know you were at the game last weekend. I saw you there. Yeah. But what did you make of it? Did you think it was alarming for Arsenal fans? Or was it quite a good defensive display from Wolves?
I would not say, I don't think it was worrying in the sense that I think this was the worst performance of the season. By far, I think everybody would say that. I think you probably are allowed to have one like that in each season, even if you're a top team. It happened to Liverpool last season, even when they won the league. It happened to City before, where you off it. There's no rhythm, there's no energy. It's a Champions League week, so you've already played. And I know it was only in Bruges, but it's still a Champions League week. You'd played a lot previously, which was not the case of Wolves. It's a 5-4-1 or 5-3-2 that you've played against, but they were very defensive, they were very aggressive, and it's just not your day, but you just grind out a win. And I think that was the most important. Whatever happens, 2 own goals, just not much from the game, you take it. It just can't happen again. Yeah. And then if it happens another time, whether it's this weekend, in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, then you can worry. But a one-off like this, if it's a one-off, I don't think it's too alarming.
Yeah, but Paul, where do you think it went wrong in that game?
I thought they started I thought it was one of them. We just got to turn up and we'll win this football match, and I thought that was the whole stadium. And that's what they got to live with, Arsenal, for the next 22 football matches and the next 11 at the Emirates. It's going to be like that. The right to have 11 people sat behind the ball, and they need to move the ball quickly. And I think sometimes they've got to be a little bit more. Open the game up where you're inviting the other team to have a go at you. And that wasn't the case. Do you know what I mean? It was just constant. Sometimes you've got to draw them out. Go back to the goalkeeper, bring them out, start again. Sometimes Arsenal play like 10 minutes in their half, but it's like an ice hockey power play. Yeah. It's there. Sideways. It's all sideways, and for me, he's got to get the horses for courses. I thought the week before he should have played Gyökeres at Villa Park. Last week, I think he plays Mourinho. I agree. Where you need that guile. When you've got to break teams down, you need that player who's just going to come off. He's going to flick a ball there, flick a ball. Yeah. He might come off, and then someone's going to make a run inside. Yeah. And I think it's horses for courses. He's got to work out them things, Arteta. And I think the last couple of weeks he's got it wrong. And they've lost one and drew one.
Well, I mean, he's got the squad though. He's going to still make mistakes like that. But I can't believe it feels weird to even say it's been 6 years this weekend that Mikel's been in charge of Arsenal. Paul, do you think it's quite a good blueprint sometimes, maybe for some of the other clubs, that a manager, with the right backing, even if with a shaky start at the beginning, it can go good, come good in the end?
I think so too. Well, people got to have time. There's only 2 sure things in management. If you're an Arsene Wenger, probably, well, not even an Arsene Wenger. If you're a Sir Alex Ferguson, you pay your tax, you get the sack. Yeah. They're the 2 surest things in management. Yeah. You've got to give time. What he's done. I hear people go, if they don't win it this year, Arteta's got to go. He's got the life back in Arsenal. They're not also runs now. 6 years ago, 7 years, they were also runs. They had no chance of ever winning the league. Would they get in the top 4? It was a flick of a coin. They are big players now. He's got rid of everybody, all the trouble, all them, and he's brought life back to the club, and they are a very good team. That if you finish above Arsenal, you will win the Premier League.
Yeah. Look at now we see Carlo Ancelotti on the screen, but this Arsenal team for his first game there, and the one that he has now in 6 years. And I know they've invested money, of course, and rightly so, but the value of the squads, the way they're playing, even the whole club, as you know too well, from the bottom to the top, it's transformed everything. And okay, yeah, the league title.
There's some interesting sound bites. Always, that's why we love him. But I can't help but feel like, Julian, this season it does just seem to be something a little bit off with Pep, in the sense of is his head really still there?
Yeah, I think so. But it's a rebuilding job that he's doing. Obviously, he's got 2 new assistants in Kolo Touré, no problem. But Pep Lijnders, maybe more importantly in a way, because Pep Lijnders, one is Klopp's former assistant, and it's a very different style of football with more verticality, more energy to it. And you see that already on the pitch, the way City are playing. But I think the team needs time to adapt to Pep Lijnders' principles in a way. So does Guardiola. But I think it's very interesting that Guardiola picked him ahead of anybody else to become his number 2 after Juan Malilo left. I think with players like Ryan Cherki, there's a lot of work to do to make him an even better world-class player. And you see that is coming, that progression. And I think for Pep, every season is difficult because he's just so intense, isn't he? And he wants to win so badly. I think he's right, and I think he's telling the truth when he said he doesn't know what's going to happen next season. I don't think he's made his mind up yet, but he was already thinking about his future last year and the year before, even before signing the new 2-year deal that he's on now.
Yeah.
So I think with him, the club is just waiting, and when finally he decides what to do, what he will do, he will tell it. But for now, I think he's just focused on the next game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were shocked that he even took over another rebuild, as you were saying. That it was, he went out there, he achieved so much with that side, and now he's gone into another rebuild stage. But I mean, Paul, looking at City now, they're not necessarily hitting that stride that we've seen them, but they're still getting points on the board, and they're still only 2 points behind. What have you made of them?
They're not the Man City of old. Do you know what I mean? They're not the Man City we've seen that demolish teams. And I been on Soccer Saturday and watch teams come and get their stomachs tickled, and if they come away 2 or 3-0, they're more than pleased. It's not like that anymore, and I think it's taken its toll on him. I think it's a lot harder now. I think there's a lot more. Before he used to coach the team, and then they go out and they play. I think there's a lot more to it now. I think it's draining, and when you're the manager he is, who's I'm only talking from afar, but his head reminds me of a washing machine. It's always spinning. He's always thinking of something. I don't think he ever relaxes, and that takes his toll. I think if they don't win it this season, I think he'll know that that'll probably be it, and Arsenal will dominate for a while, and I think he'll get out why he's still thing, then be there, and then all of a sudden Man City finish 4th or 5th, and if, no disrespect, if Ireland gets up and Real Madrid or a Barcelona fall into some money again or whatever, and then he goes, then I think it'll be difficult. But the man is, I think legends used very loosely in football. He's a legend. What he's done in management, he's always ahead of everybody else. And then, they bring in the fullback, and then, we're going to start bringing in the fullback. He's always thinking. Yeah,
for sure. I want to show you just a clip from that press conference earlier on today. This is him talking about their title chances.
I think we had results, but there are a lot of things that we have to do better. So still we are not in the position, in the way we play that we should be. But it helps for the fact that the mentality and the commitment is incredible, and that helps us to be there. Many things are positive, but in the way we play in things, still we are not the level that required to compete to win the titles, but the margin is there to improve it. That is nice.
That's what he likes, though.
I was going to say, so I'm watching this and I'm going, is this complete mind games or is this genuine? Like he really doesn't believe they are title-winning side right now.
But just look at the second half against Leeds at the Etihad when they're 2-0 down and cruising. There's just nothing for them to worry about, and they go to 2-2 and they think, what, we're going to drop points here, and then Foden saves them. The game at Real Madrid where they were not good and they won, they were not good, and Guardiola after the game said, this is not good enough. If we play against a team like PSG, it's him using PSG, not me, I swear. Yeah. But he said PSG, we will get beaten. And I think he's right. I think right now, when they play, even when Foden is good and when Haaland is just not the only one doing something, when Cherki is good, but defensively, there's still very much a work in progress. And that's kind, to put it that way.
So what, are they overachieving right now? Do you know what I mean? Because if you put it that way,
it's individual quality.
They probably are, because they could go top of the league this weekend, and you wouldn't say they've been at top gear.
Yeah.
You know, teams have had good chances against us. I just think Man City have scored at the right time, and then they can go on a wing. But you know, Palace had good chances.
Yeah.
You know, as Julian said, the Leeds game was a joke, because when that went 2-2, only one team looked like winning that, and that was Leeds. You know, but they keep on getting over the line, and that's what I said. If this gets down to 6 games and Man City are 2 points behind, I, as an Arsenal fan, you would be worrying like mad, because with 6 games to go, one team have done it so many times and the other team haven't got over the line, so there's something missing. But yeah, I just think he knows his football. I mean, you know, you can see he doesn't mug people off. Do you know what I mean? He says it the way he sees it. And everybody can see from a mile away, they haven't been great, but they're winning football matches.
Because as you say, look, they're doing okay-ish. Sometimes the results are a bit up and down in the Champions League. You say that you've got into the semis of the Carabao Cup, but they're not breaking into that top 3 just yet. Are the owners not going to be on his back at this point? Or do you think they see that the squad isn't there?
They haven't bought to win the Premier League, in my opinion.
Right.
You know, and that's why I don't think there'll be a problem with that. I think keep on getting in the top 4. They can keep on nicking a player here and there and maybe sell them on. But they have to keep on getting in the top 4 for Champions League football. But yeah, I don't think the owners will have the ump of them not winning the Premier League, because the owners haven't bought to win the Premier League, in my opinion. They brought to be a good cup team with a solid Premier League position.
We saw the Athletic obviously hinting that potentially Maresca could go to City if Pep were to move on. Do you think that would be the right fit? Do you think he could be a successor?
Yeah, I think he's on the short list, like Vincent Kompany, for example. Of course, he did a great job when he was with the under-21s at City. Then as Guardiola's
knows the club, knows the side,
knows the club, everybody. I think it's a good manager. He's made mistakes this season, and sometimes I struggled the second half in the Champions League against Atalanta. Some of the things that he does, I don't really understand it, and I'm like, why are you doing? There's too much rotation in my liking. But again, this could be done more than the squad that he has now and the club that he's in now. Then he might not do the same at City or in another club, for example. So he's highly rated by City, like Kompany, like others. So it will be, but I think he's a very smart manager. And all of this was started from Maresca for a reason too.
Yeah, the problem at the moment is we forget Chelsea was still playing football in the middle of July.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He's got to manage the team and
the injuries.
Players, and the injuries. And I think that's why he probably changes it too much, but he's probably looking after certain players. Otherwise, when it gets back to the nitty-gritty, the season's just getting into shape. After Christmas it starts.
There you go. Well, Thomas Frank says he has the support of the Spurs board.
Casi a producto nuevo por semana, producto bonito que, por supuesto, pues siempre invitamos a la gente a que consuma. Si queréis encontrarlo en kingsleague.pro, pues ahí tenéis las nuevas chaquetas training y también esas camisetas especiales con detalles dorados que llevan todos los equipos.
Oye, ustedes tendrán más memoria que yo, pero ¿cuánto quedaron la última vez que se enfrentaron ellos?
3-4 ganó 1K.
3-4.
En el histórico de estos dos equipos, el que gane desempata, porque han ganado 2. El X Boyer Team ha ganado 2. 1.
Becker se lleva el rebote. Becker para marcar. Becker. El rechazo de Arnaldo. ¡Gol!
¡Vamos! ¡Vamos!
¡Gol!
¡Vamos, Pablo!
¡Qué suerte! Macarra en el Cooper Arena. ¡Gol de Pablo Becker!
No será capaz, ¿no? ¡No será capaz! ¡Qué cabrón! ¡Qué cabrón!
A ver
si sacan más de 3, se quedan sin trabajo. Mira, muy bien. ¿Cómo valoran el trabajo? Bien.
Ahí está ese ataque por parte del X Boyer Team. El toque dentro de Becker. Puede marcar Carbó. ¡Gol! ¡Gol! Quiere poner el centro por delante, finalmente lo pone por detrás del defensor. Carbó la pisa, Carbó.
¡No jodas!
¡Madre mía! ¡Es que es el mejor de esta puta competición!
¡Por algo es el Corona de Oro! China la juega atrás, no se decidió a tirar. Granero busca su perfil, Granero.
Golazo.
¡Gol! De 1K. Marca Granero. Y sí, otra vez, lo ha vuelto a hacer. Buller, mira, no,
Ah,
gol
gol
doble.
doble. Gol doble, claro, porque tiene sanción. Ah, claro, vale.
Sanción, efectivamente. Grande. Claro que sí. Bueno, sinceridad ante todo. Ahí está. Juanma el toque. ¡Gol!
Vale.
¡Velilla! ¡Gol! Balón que lleva ahí Pluvins, el disparo. ¡Gol!
Vale.
¡Gol!
Me gusta.
Está haciendo un buen trabajo defensivo, ojo.
¡Granero!
¡Uy, qué golazo!
¡Qué chicharro de Mar Granero! ¡Qué barbaridad! El recorte de zurda y el disparo con la derecha. Que la metió en la escuadra. Ojo ahora que ataca el X Buyer Team. ¡Gol! Va a pegar Fuad en la falta.
Santa madre de Dios. Sí,
Vamos a ver
total.
ahí esa pelota dentro del área para Juanma, que lo puede matar. ¡Gol!
2 de Juan.
Sí, no podía ser otro que Roger Carbó. No sé si te imaginabas que tu vuelta iba a ser de esta manera.
Pues la verdad que no, o sea, ha sido la vuelta ideal. Hat-trick, partido de octavos y mañana jugamos cuartos, o sea, ha sido ideal. Aunque el trabajo no, o sea, me lo llevo yo, pero el trabajo es de todos. Hemos trabajado mucho y al final los resultados se han visto reflejados en el campo. Así que muy contento.
Parecía o puede parecer que sois el rival más débil por todas las bajas, pero en los pasillos se comenta que nadie quiere enfrentarse a vosotros.
Bueno, a ver, yo escuché una persona que dijo de Gigantes que quería enfrentarse a nosotros. Así que mañana a las 9 no te preocupes, que estaremos aquí con muchas ganas. Y más después de esas declaraciones. ¿Sabes por quién voy?
Yo no lo sé quién es.
No lo voy a decir, esta persona lo sabe.
Bueno, pues enhorabuena.
Muchas gracias.